Hi guys, this is the second episode of Masterclass Speak Smart English. As we discussed in the last video that we are trying to give you a perfect language, a language that you have never spoken before, an accurate and fluent with smartness. So let's get started our errors and mistakes English language classroom. The first mistake is it is difficult to forgive those responsible for actions of terrorism. It is a wrong sentence. Why? It is difficult to forgive those responsible for acts of terrorism, not action of terrorism, acts of terrorism. Okay? Acts of terrorism. Next. Blackmail is the action of trying to obtain money from someone by threatening to. Wrong. Why? Because blackmail is the act of trying to obtain money from someone by threatening to. It's the act, it's not the action. It is the act of trying to obtain money. Few people are aware that an urgent action is needed. Wrong. Few people are aware that urgent action is needed. Not an urgent action, urgent action. And we cannot use article and, the, or a with action. That's something joined together like urgent action. So you can say, I want to make urgent action. The government should take an action to reduce the birth rate. Wrong. Why? The government should take action to reduce the birth rate. So what is the difference here? Not an action, take action. Take action. Take an action? Wrong. Next. We would like to know more about the actual crisis. Wrong. We would like to know more about present crisis. Not actual crisis, present crisis. My actual job interview involves a lot of administration. Wrong. My present job involves a lot of administration. So here is the difference. My actual job or my present job? My present job. Don't use actual job, say my present job. I never get bored with the city. Actually, each time I return, I find something wrong. You know why? You're giving some information. I never get bored by the city. Okay, in fact, don't say actually, say in fact, each time I return, I find something. Okay? Next slide. We need to produce and export more than we do actually. Wrong. We need to produce and export more than we do at present. Not actually. We produce and export at present. The other ingredients are then added into the mixture. Into the mixture? No. Added to the mixture. The other ingredients are then added to the mixture. We add something to the mixture, but we put something into the mixture. So that's the difference. Okay? Great. Next. 1 hour is not long enough to admire all the exhibits. You admire exhibit or you see exhibits? You see exhibits. 1 hour is not long enough to see all the exhibits. So you cannot admire, just see. I enjoyed admiring all the old buildings. Wrong. You cannot admire the buildings. You're just looking at the building, okay? So I enjoyed looking at all the old buildings. So we can't use here admiring, we use looking. Although it was a sad film, I admired it very much. When the film is sad, so you can't say I admired the film, you say I enjoyed the film. I enjoyed the film. So the right sentence is, although it was a sad film, I enjoyed it very much. Everybody admired you talk because it was lively and interesting. Wrong. You know why? Well, the answer is everybody enjoyed your talk because it was lively and interesting. So enjoyed your talking, not admired your talking. Everybody admired your talk, or everybody enjoyed your talk? Everybody enjoyed your talk. That is the right answer. I adore something new people. No, you can't adore. Adore is a physical relation. So you say, I like loving meet new people. Like, I enjoy meeting new people, or I love meeting new people, but you can't say I adore. So please use I like people, I enjoy people, or I love people, but not adore. I adore reading too. So you can't say adore. Reading is not a person. You can't make love with reading. So you say I like reading too, or I like or I enjoy reading too, or I love reading too. But don't use I adore reading too. Although the film has its advantages, it also has a serious flaw. Wrong. Film does not have advantages, eh? Although the film has its merits or good points. Okay? Not advantages. It also has serious flaw. So you can say merits or good points, but not advantages. A film cannot give you advantage. It can give you merits, mean good points or bad points. Television provides many advantages. Wrong. Television provides many benefits. And you know what's the difference between two things. You cannot get any advantage from television, but benefits. Advantage is a physical thing, benefit is a visual. Okay? What are the advantages in studying in the United States? Wrong. You know why? The difference between preposition. Okay? So here is the wrong preposition. Always remember what are the advantages of studying in the United States. Not say in studying in the United States, of studying in the United States. There are many advantages of having your own computer. Wrong. Why? Preposition mistake. You can use to having or you can use in having. Okay, so the right sentence is there are many advantages To having your own computer or in having your own computer? Alright guys, the next sentence is, I have just seen your advertisement about a Chinese book. What's wrong here? The wrong is the preposition. Why? You can't say about a Chinese book, for a Chinese book. Why? Because it's an advertisement for a Chinese book. I have just seen your advertisement for a Chinese book. Not about a Chinese book. I am writing in reply to your advertisement of a part-time sales assistant. What's wrong here? Of and for. I am writing in reply to your advertisement for a part-time sales assistant. So, for a part-time sales assistant, not of part-time sales assistant. So, your advertisement for a part-time sales assistant. I advised him to tell the police. Wrong. I advised him to tell the police. What's the difference between advised and advised? Advised mean to do something. Advice is a noun. You can give some piece of advice, mean opinion or suggestion. But here is work is going on. So you can't say I advised him. I advised him. You have done some work as a verb in grammar sense. So I advised him. She gave me a good advice. Okay, but it's wrong. She gave me some good advice. Not a good advice, some good advice. It is full of good advices on healthy eating. Wrong. It is full of good advice on healthy eating, not advices. Instead, you have to use advice on healthy eating. It is full of good advice on healthy eating. So please don't use here plural advices. You have to use advice. I asked my lawyer for her advice. Wrong. You need a piece of information, and that is advice. Advice is noun. You need suggestion. Advice is a verb, and you are asking something, and that must be a noun. You are not asking something which is a verb. You are asking a piece of information as advice. Okay? But you can give advice, and you can take one advice. Nowadays, many doctors advise to live in the countryside. Wrong. What's the difference? Nowadays, many doctors advise living in the countryside. Don't use to live in the countryside, living in the countryside. So there is a little bit small difference, but this difference is very much important in grammar sense. Nowadays, many doctors advise living in the countryside. Don't use to live, say advise living in the countryside. The program is about computers and their effect on lives. Well, it's wrong. Why? Because it's affect, not affect. There is a vocabulary difference. And if you want to get more meaning, what's the difference between affect and effect? So please consult your dictionary, because it gives you exact information. Affect is actually with E, means it's an impression. An effect is actually a circumstance with A. This problem has also affected on the automobile industry. Wrong. This problem has also affected the automobile industry, not on automobile industry, but the automobile industry. So it has affected the automobile industry. My father could not afford paying for my education. What's wrong here? Afford paying? No. My father could not afford to pay for my education. My father could not afford to pay for my education. And don't choose afford paying for my education. The road to the airport was very busy and we were afraid to miss the plane. Okay, it's wrong. What's wrong? Here is wrong. To miss the plane? No, of missing the plane. Yes. The road to the airport was very busy and we were afraid of missing the plane. Okay, so there is a preposition mistake of missing the plane. After a week, we were going to Italy. Don't say after a week, say in a week's time we are going to Italy. So there is a sense difference, a sense mistake. In a week time we are going to Italy, or in a week time we are going to Germany. But don't say after a week, because this talk is about future, and future always use in a week time. I hope that I'll still be healthy after 10 years. I hope that I'll still be healthy in 10 years time, not after 10 years, in 10 years time. Because that is a prediction about health, so you can't say after 10 years I'll be healthy. Say I'll be healthy in 10 years time. I promised to meet Frank at the exhibition a week after. Wrong. Why? The difference actually, later and after. I promised to meet Frank at the exhibition a week later. Not a week after, a week later. So I'll meet Frank a week later. Okay? Not a week after. I returned to Germany after 2 years' time. Wrong. I returned to Germany 2 years later. If you feel something that is confusion, please concentrate on the right sentence. Okay? Sometimes it is not necessary that this sentence you or your colleagues or you read somewhere wrong or you speak, but just concentrate on the right sentence. So this is just can help you in future. I returned to Germany 2 years later. After 1961, the consumption of cheese has increased each year. What's wrong here? Well, the difference is not after 1961, that is a since 1961, and that is basically a continuous, perfect continuous tense. And if you do not know perfect continuous tense, always remember all the dates, time and days we use since 1961, since Monday or since Tuesday or since December. Okay? We always use since. My first aim is to get a master degree after I would like to go. A slight difference is afterwards. Look, here is one sentence, then there is a full stop, and then after words and comma you have to use. Okay, so when two parts of sentences join together with full stop, you have to use afterwards. My first aim is to get a master degree. Afterwards, I would like to go. Okay, afterwards. A police car arrived within minutes, and soon after an ambulance came. It's wrong. Well, you know why? Look. A police car arrived within minutes, and soon afterwards an ambulance came. Afterwards, an ambulance came. So one thing is arriving, and if some second thing is arriving, so you use afterwards. Next. I studied English for 2 years. After that, I got a job as a steward on an airline. What's wrong? After studying English for 2 years, I got a job as a steward on an airline. So you can't say after, but you use comma, and you can start another part of sentence. So you can't use after here. It's a very simple sentence, but I read again this sentence. After studying English for 2 years, I got a job as a steward on an airline. We could all meet at my house for lunch. After doing this, we could go. We could all meet at my house for lunch, and afterwards we could go. The difference is actually on just remove the full stop and use and. We use as conjunction. Okay? So you can't say after, you just say and. Afterwards we could go. After you will leave, we'll write to you every day. It's wrong. After you leave or after you have left, we will write to you every day. So you can't say after you will leave, you say after you leave or after you left. Okay? Don't use future sentence for leaving somebody. After you leave or after you have left. First we got stuck in traffic jam, and then our car broken down. After we decided. It's wrong. The difference is actually in preposition. First we got stuck in a traffic jam, and then our car broken down. In the end, we decided. Not after, in the end. Okay? We stopped for a meal on the way, and after all, we did not arrive until midnight. The difference is actually after and in the end. Okay? So we stopped for a meal on the way and in the end. Okay? Not after all, in the end, we did not arrive until midnight. In the end, not after. Afternoon, we have classes until 5 o'clock. Wrong. In the afternoon, we have classes until 5 o'clock. In the afternoon. School finishes at 5 in afternoon. School finishes at 5 in the afternoon. We can't say in afternoon, we have to say in the afternoon, because this is a special afternoon which school finishes. Okay? The next slide is about another mistake, and which is very much important. The afternoon I met them at the hotel and we went to the beach. Wrong. in the afternoon. You know, timing. Whenever you tell something a time, you use and you say in the afternoon, in the morning. I met them at the hotel and we went to the beach. We started going out together just to have fun as friends. Afterwards, we both. So you can't say afterwards, you say later. Remember, if there are two parts and one situation is going another situation, so you say we started going out together just to have fun as friends. Later on, we both have gone to picnic or somewhere else. But you use later, okay? One situation and then second situation you have to use later. First you draw a long straight line and afterwards you draw another line parallel to the... It's wrong. Why? Because when you finish the sentence here, first you draw a long straight line, then you draw another line parallel to. Okay, so when you finish the sentence and then another situation, so you can't say afterwards, you say then, and then, and then, and then, just like this. It's time I gave you your photographs again. Wrong. It's time I gave you your photographs back. Okay, so that's a little bit tricky. It does not happen all the time, but please remember, it is time I gave you your photographs back. He would like to have his bicycle again if you have finished with it. Wrong sentence. And what's wrong here? Wrong is actually here. He would like to have his bicycle back, not again. Look, his bicycle again. No. He would like to have his bicycle back if you have finished with it. So, if you have finished with it, bicycle back. So, this was the second episode and I hope you like it. Please write your comments and feedback. And if you have any special request or some special help you need, please always write it down. We always try to help you, and best of luck and best wishes for your future. Thank you. Bye bye. Till next time.